Oh, hi, everyone. I'm Gretchen Carlson. Welcome to The Real Story Today. On the hot seat again, senators on Capitol Hill grilling Medicare and Medicaid Administrator Marilyn Tavenner. The botched rollout of the Obamacare exchanges and the website, whole bunch of questions going on at today's hearings. Tavenner was asked about indications the administration actually turned a blind eye to website security concerns.
A September 27 memo addressed to you states that due to system readiness issues, the required security assessment was only partly completed.
So I think in the case, because of the visibility of the exchange, the chief information officer wanted to make me aware of it, and I agreed to sign it with their recommendation to proceed.
Does anybody else review or approve that decision before it's final?
No, sir.
Like Secretary Sebelius? Or?
No, sir. That was my decision.
Our next guest is the senator asking those critical security questions, Republican Pat Roberts of Kansas, member of the Senate Health, Education, Labor and Pensions Committee. Good to see you, Senator.
Thank you, Gretchen. It's good to be on.
So obviously security was a huge concern of yours today with Ms. Tavenner. There's a big report out today that says that a bunch of these security deadlines came and passed, and that at the very end, the final required top-to-bottom security tests never got done on healthcare.gov. Your concern today is what?
Well, that's exactly correct, Gretchen. The independent audit is required by law to make sure we have privacy and security concerns answered for an awful lot of Americans who are worried about that with Obamacare. It wasn't done. The dates were slipped. In other words, the deadlines were missed 3 straight times. When it came up for the final independent audit, which is supposed to be end-to-end, that didn't happen. And she signed off on it anyway. 3 other people did not sign off on it. They said there was a substantial risk.
Right. So it's one thing to have a website that crashes. It's a whole nother thing for all of these Americans now, millions of us, to find out that our personal information, I mean, we're told to not ever tell anyone our Social Security number, and now that information could be out there for anyone to get to?
Well, I think that's the worry that everybody has. If we had the end-to-end investigation again, required by law and by the Office of Management and Budget, we would have better confidence on that. Administrator Tavenner said yes, she is sure that there is security. I said, well, could you provide the end-to-end audit to the committee, if not in public and private, but the American people ought to know that. Right. Just as they ought to know on how many people are signing up. The President knows every night. Why can't the American people know that?
Yeah, she refused to answer those questions again today as well. Now, last week, when Secretary Sebelius testified, and she'll testify again tomorrow, she said there was no reason for Americans to worry about any security problems. You were one of the first to call for the resignation of Secretary Sebelius. Do you still stand with that opinion?
Well, yes, I do. 11 days out, I called for the resignation based on job accountability. It's got nothing but worse. We've got a situation where the tip of the iceberg, that's all we see. More people are losing their insurance than there are signing up. More people are worried about their privacy and their security. And here we have the president saying, well, yes, you can keep your insurance if you like it. It's a bait and switch. Here he hands it to you, but then he draws his hand back and says, I have to like it as well. Who does that? Who does that?
Well, let me ask you that question. Who does do that?
Well, who does that is President Obama and also Secretary Sebelius. And so consequently, in terms of job accountability, you can go way back to Benghazi, IRS investigations, Fast and Furious. I don't care what it is. Nobody in this administration will ever take on the responsibility and the accountability. Well, she's not done the job.
Let me ask you how you feel about this. Jay Carney, the spokesperson for the president, just had a briefing, and apparently he was asked about when, in fact, this website will be fully functioning. Now, remember, they gave out firm dates, did they not? They were going to give us numbers by November 15th, and by the end of this month, the site was going to be fully operational. Now, today, he's saying it will be operational by the end of this month for the vast majority. What do you make of that?
Well, it may be after Christmas by the time we finally know. That's not a very good Christmas present. I don't, Jay Carney is doing the best he can under difficult circumstances. Quite frankly, I don't think he has any veracity anymore. So we're waiting until November 15. We'll see. And then when that happens and it doesn't happen, well, then we know that it'll be put off again. In the meantime, the thing to remember is that more people are losing their insurance than are signing up, and that number is growing. It could be up to 50 million. Now we get an estimate of 90 million. Now we get the latest estimate of 129 million people that will lose insurance in this country. That's why I say this is just the tip of the iceberg.
All right, Senator Pat Roberts of Kansas, thanks for your time today.
Thank you, Gretchen.
And we want to hear from you. What do you think about the security issue?